In this video, we're going to talk about the 6 ways to help your ADHD teenager start the school year strong. So right now, if you have an ADHD teen or a teenager who's got dyslexia, dyspraxia, or autism, do not wait until the first day of the school year to get them ready to go back to school. And right now, you might be getting ready, buying the school bag and the books and the pencil cases and the lunch boxes and the uniforms. But don't wait until the first day of term. Now is the time to get your teen ready. And especially when you have ADHD, if you've had a summer where it's been a bit of a free-for-all, you might have had a permissive approach with your teen. And that means they've been up late, they're out of bed late, they've had free access to their screens. Then you could have a lot of difficulties on the first couple of weeks in September. And that's what we want to prevent. So in this video, we're going to look at 6 ways to prevent that. And the first big thing that we got to address in all of this is sleep. And for teenagers, they need 8, 9, 10, 11 hours of sleep. And if they're going to bed late, they can't get out of bed in the morning. And maybe they're in a bad cycle. And if they've been gaming till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and even over the last 2 weeks, I've been coaching teens at 12 noon. And I can see the bed heads on them at 12 noon, and suddenly you have to get up at 6 or 7 or 7:30 and they can't cope. They're literally jet lagged for the first month of school. Then you have to start to help train them to be able to get out of bed earlier in the morning, and that starts now. So what do? We start to reduce our going to bed time. Do not wait until the first Sunday night at 10 p.m. to say, right guys, it's time for bed, when they've been going to bed at 2 o'clock all summer. So that starts now. Start to gradually reduce it to reset their sleep cycle as soon as possible. Which brings me to the second tip in all of this, which is transitions. Transitions. Now there's 2 big transitions for any teenager on a given day, and that's the morning and after school. And one of the big challenges for you as parents could be getting your teenager out in the morning. And you're shouting up the stairs, are you out of bed yet? Are you out? Are you up? Are you in the shower? Have you got your bag? Have you got your gym gear packed? And you, in effect, have become their executive function because you're in a mad dash to get them into the car, get them to the bus stop or drop them to school, and there's chaos in the morning. And the second big transition is after school. And for a lot of teenagers, when they come home, they're baked, especially if they've got ADHD or autism. They've been sitting in school. For a lot of students, masking, especially the girls. And when they come home, a lot of them go to bed. Or they go and lie on their bed for 2 hours scrolling TikTok. That is what we do not want. So what we need to do is to help them transition, to be able to get out of bed in the morning and to be able to reset after school. And this is where we need good routines. And this is a big part of our coaching program. This is a big part of my Raise the Game motivational study skills seminar, the miracle morning. And then that reset point after school is so important, which brings me to the next one, which is expectations. I mean, I see this with a lot of teenagers. I see a lot of parents, they're treating your 15 or 16-year-old like a 12-year-old. Now, I know with a 15-year-old, when it comes to ADHD, it's there's a delay. I mean, this is what it is. This prefrontal cortex is actually an executive function delay. So sometimes up to 30%, your 15-year-old can act like a 12-year-old, but that does not mean you treat them like a 12-year-old. So there's certain expectations. And what I'm talking about here is things like homework, that when they come home, they reset 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is. If you want to watch TV, that's okay. They don't get a free-for-all access to the phone. I'm going to talk about the phones in a second. And then homework starts between 5 and 6 o'clock. And this is really important to have a set time for things like homework, study, even chores, jobs. And there's something called expectations and privileges. Getting phone access is a privilege. Getting game time is a privilege. So these expectations have to be put in place. These are the things I expect you to do. This is your job. And a lot of the time, this is where the rows are, but the sooner you address those, the better. Which brings me to the next one, which is screens. Again, another huge area of argument at home with parents. A lot of parents say, I just can't get him off his phone. And a lot of moms would say, I just wish she got off her phone and do some homework. So the screens are a big challenge for everybody. But again, this is where we need to have a plan around screen times. What's expected of you? So this is where you have to be strong as a parent. And don't forget, you are the parent. You're not the friend. And this means that between 5 and 7, the Wi-Fi might be turned off. At 10 o'clock in the evening, the phones are handed up. And if a young person, and by the way, teenagers get over 200 notifications a day. So one of the things you can help them with is take the notifications off their home screen, removing social media from the home screen. This is what I cover in my coaching programs, both with teenagers and parents. You need plans around screens and to set up those expectations. And a big one is giving your teenager access to their phone at night. And only last year, one of my students who was really struggling with attendance, she didn't go in on Mondays, and she was really struggling with school. But this girl had access to her phone all night. 14, 15, 16 should not have a phone in their bedroom after 10 o'clock at night. It's a source of contention, but the sooner you hit this, the better. Which brings me to the next one. I'm talking about checklists. So teenagers need checklists, especially with ADHD. I'm talking about visual reminders. So one of the things you could get is a year planner and put it on the wall. And in the year planner, you can help them mark in when tests are due, when projects are due, when homework is due, when there's football games and matches. And this is a great visual reminder. Another one is to have a checklist on the fridge. And one of the things I like is a daily checklist that they tick off at the end of the evening. I got my homework done, bag packed, I got PE gear packed. And if you get a text message the next day to say, I forgot my football boots, do not fly into the rescue. Make them sit out the game, because what a great way to learn the lesson. There has to be consequences. And if you've got checklists, the whole idea is that you are not their executive function. Then you can ask them, what do you do next week so you don't forget your football boots? What do you do next week so you don't forget your gym gear? And if they haven't studied for that test, then a big learning is to mark it in that calendar and checklist. The last one then in all of this is relationships. And this is probably the most important one of all. There's two types of relationship in school. I'm talking about relationships with your teachers and your peers. I'm not going to talk about peers in this video, but I'm going to talk about teachers. So it is important that you do get on with your teachers. Now, here's the big thing. You're not going to get on with every teacher. It's just impossible. But it is a good idea. And parents ask me all the time, should I let my teacher know if my teenager has ADHD? And I'd say yes. So if a teacher has awareness that they have ADHD, what does that mean? Well, let them know the type of supports that is helpful. If you're talking to them in the parent-teacher meeting, this is where you can say, look, my son really struggles to start, task initiate. So maybe during class, you can help him get the problem started. Or my daughter gets distracted so easily. So maybe you have to put her sitting away from her friends. So by knowing the types of support that work, but sending in a note to say my teen has rejection sensitivity disorder and ADHD and leaving it at that, and expecting the teacher to handle from there, that's not going to work. And to remind yourself that, yeah, your teen is going to go home and say, I don't like my biology teacher. I don't like that science teacher. And then you end up in a whole kind of campaign against that teacher, and maybe you're commenting in WhatsApp groups on that teacher. Don't get into that. You don't want to go into conflict with the school. You want to collaborate with the school. And not being liked by everybody and not liking everyone is a big part of life. So we don't want to complain. We want to collaborate. What you really want to teach your teen is accountability. That's the name of the game. That's what we cover in our coaching programs, is to transfer responsibility to your teen, help them take ownership and accountability. So if you like this video, click the like. If you want my coaching, go to raisethegame.com. Go to navigate-adhd.com. And remember, guys, day by day, we are raising the game.